Welcome and hello to Mr. Sleepy Science. I'm truly grateful you've discovered us because tonight we're floating through the serene mysteries of the world we inhabit. No matter where you find yourself, let this moment become yours to unwind. Permit the sounds to fade away. Let the boundaries soften and allow your thoughts to settle like leaves drifting on peaceful waters. This evening, our focus remains on planet Earth. The life flourishing here is more enigmatic, sturdy, and remarkable than we typically comprehend. From luminous seas to creatures that never age, from secret forests beneath the ground to microscopic beings that endure the vacuum of space, Earth teems with existence in forms that astonish, calm, and awaken something ancient within us. Certain things you discover might transform how you view reality. Still other facts might drift gently by like petals on a breeze, soft, engaging, and lingering in memory. Should this variety of soothing exploration speaks to your heart or ignites your interest, we'd be delighted if you'd like and subscribe. It makes it possible for others to join us here too, gradual and steadily, one peaceful mind at a time. But for this moment, get yourself comfortable, breathe deeply, and settle in for this unhurried, calming voyage into the wonders that animate our Earth. As a creature that defies aging, the jellyfish presents nature's most startling enigma. Throughout the Mediterranean's temperate currents and in waters worldwide, swims a being that contradicts one of existence's most fundamental rules. Turritopsis durnii, famously recognized as the immortal jellyfish, possesses an extraordinary gift. When wounded, worn by years, or under threat, it can turn its existence backward to an earlier form. Much as a butterfly retreats into being a caterpillar, it returns to its polyp phase, its jellyfish youth, and starts fresh. This process isn't merely hypothetical. Scientists in laboratories have repeatedly witnessed this transformation. The jellyfish can advance and retreat through its life cycle continuously, eternally, barring being consumed or destroyed. It may not unlock the mystery to endless human existence, but it teaches us that imagination in nature surpasses our comprehension. In the quiet drifting of the sea exists a being that reverses its own timeline, continuously, perpetually. Communication happens silently among trees through invisible conduits. Below a forest's stillness dwells a secret exchange. Trees, assumed to be isolated titans, share connection through underground fungal highways called mycorrhizal networks. By means of these fragile pathways, trees move nutrients, broadcast chemical notices, and relay alerts about hazards such as insect invasions or water shortages. Ancient trees, recognized as mother trees, nurture younger specimens by channeling nutrients and sugars via this network below. This isn't merely figurative language, it's an organic communication system so extensive and intricate that scientists now reference it as the wood wide web. One birch might offer sustenance to an adjacent fir. A tree nearing its end may send its remaining force back into the ecosystem. It represents a tranquil type of awareness, not intentional, yet profoundly unified. In this underground realm of fibers and mycelium, the forest emerges not as scattered beings, but as a coordinated living ecosystem. Microscopic organisms known as tardigrades can endure the vacuum of space. They're minuscule, peculiar, and virtually indestructible. Named tardigrades but nicknamed water bears, they're smaller than a millimeter and resemble tiny, crinkled, eight-legged bears when examined through magnification. But don't let their stature mislead you. Tardigrades manage survival in settings that would demolish virtually all other existence. Temperature approaching absolute zero, extreme hot conditions, immense pressure, intense radiation, and even the cosmos's emptiness. In 2007, researchers launched them into orbit, and they came back unharmed. What's their secret? They access cryptobiosis, a unique survival mode. In this condition, they desiccate nearly totally and pause their living processes. They don't perish, they simply pause, sometimes for lengthy intervals. Once dampness reappears, they reawaken. Tardigrades demonstrate that life is resilient, unusual, and far more flexible than we ever imagined, even when traveling the cosmos. A gas we breathe was once Earth's greatest hazard. Now, with every inhalation, oxygen fills our lungs, but ages past, oxygen posed the grandest risk. Roughly 2 billion years from now, primordial organisms inhabited an oxygen-absent world. Named anaerobes, these earliest beings were Earth's pioneers. Then arrived cyanobacteria, minuscule photosynthesizing organisms that produced oxygen as waste. Initially, quantities remained negligible, yet over millions of years, oxygen built up in the seas and sky, causing what science now labels the Great Oxygenation Event. To numerous anaerobic species, oxygen became lethal. It destroyed cellular material, interrupted old pathways, and triggered widespread dying. Yet some transformed, utilizing this invisible substance as vitality. In time, it allowed intricate animal existence, including ourselves, to flourish.
Your being contains more bacterial life than personal tissue. You believe yourself to be singular, a unique form with singular consciousness. However, in truth, you represent a living communion. Your form includes more microbial organisms than personal cells. Billions of tiny life forms, microbes, bacilli, organisms, and bacteria live on your epidermis, within your teeth, and throughout your intestines. This mix is labeled your microbiota, and it's far more than simply hitching a journey. It processes your food, prepares your immune system, manufactures essential nutrients, and can impact your feelings and behaviors. In countless respects, your microbial ecosystem becomes an expansion of your body's instinctive capability. It's an unnoticed collaborator in basically everything you achieve. Helpful organisms safeguard you. Others fend off disease. Just like no two sets of fingerprints match, your microbiota is exclusively yours. The next occasion you experience solitude, recall that you're never genuinely singular. You represent a system on its own, a realm inside a realm. Millions of ants join to make living structures. Across South American rainforests, soldier ants move ceaselessly, flowing like a living current over the woodland soil. Yet upon finding a gap or barrier, they maintain movement. Rather, they assemble living structures from themselves. One ant secures itself to a supporting surface. Following is an additional soldier securing itself to the initial one. Then more and more until a dynamic, powerful bridge takes form. Thousands unite, modifying based on the masses and activity overhead. Once the group finishes their journey, the bridge separates and the ants proceed onward. These biological constructions don't follow instructions from a leader. Rather, they arise from individual judgments. Every soldier manages its companions, motivated by instinct and feeling. It's a remarkable display of group reasoning, a form that transforms, assembled solely from animate matter. Countless individual beings functioning as a unified body. The octopus is capable of modifying its own genetic language. In the quiet vastness beneath, the cephalopod floats like an imaginative being, transforming shades, shifting forms, and looking forth with peculiar vision. It's currently one of the cleverest creatures in the seas, yet deeper lies something much more unusual. These cephalopods are able to alter their RNA, the code that translates genetic information into functional molecules. Although the majority of beings adhere to the biology they were conceived with, cephalopods have the capacity to make living edits, refining how their cellular machinery operates. This enables them to tailor their biological systems spontaneously, fine-tuning neurofunctions, ecological perception, or thermal reactions. It's distinguishable from altering DNA fundamentally, yet it provides them extraordinary responsiveness. Our comprehension of their methods and causes remains limited, yet it contributes to the aura of strangeness encircling a being that appears extraterrestrial. A minority of beings seem aware of themselves. Numerous creatures can observe their mirrors, though barely any seem to sense who gazes back. Recognizing oneself is uncommon globally. It's often viewed as proof of elevated cognition, an internal view of what you are. The mirror analysis assesses whether creatures will try to look at or touch a spot on themselves while observing a reflection, implying they realize the display represents them. So far, merely a handful have demonstrated this. Apes of the greater kind, cetaceans, pachyderms, corvids, and potentially eagle rays. Even aquatic species demonstrate some indication of reflection awareness. This doesn't mean they have consciousness like us, yet it recommends something notable, that consciousness might extend across several kinds of awareness. The sense of me could possibly glimmer in minds vastly unlike ours. Across the evolutionary hierarchy, where existence ends and others start, may not stay as fixed as we imagined. Existence has weathered 5 catastrophic disappearances. Life on our sphere is ancient and remarkably durable. Over 500,000 years back, our world has undergone a minimum of 5 massive extinction periods. Each moment annihilated the preponderance of existing species simultaneously. The most horrific, identified as the Permian period's extinction, erased past the majority of aquatic creatures and above 2/3 of terrestrial fauna. Volcanic activity, impacts from space, atmospheric changes, each modification devastated the world, and each instance, biology rebounded. Not identical organisms, yet altered versions. From catastrophe's aftermath, habitats transformed again. Surviving remnants became sources of fresh development. It tells of life's remarkable endurance. Life does beyond just persist. It modifies, advances, and reinvents itself. Our existence comprises that heritage, descendants of ancient beings who traversed shadow and void and located advancement forward, a lineage remaining unbroken via destruction. Certain fungi can direct insect movements like puppets. In the darkened, damp shade of a woodland, a peculiar dance unfolds, erasing the distinction between greenery and controller. Specific fungi, including cordyceps, penetrate insects like ant species, moving through their systems and minds. After establishing themselves, the fungal organism extends, releasing compounds that reshape the insect's actions. The ant, now manipulated by fungal signals, ascends into the canopy and attaches to a strand or surface. It halts. The fungus destroys its resident and sends out a fiber from the remains, dispersing viral copies to infect those beneath. It's repulsive and accurate, a process refined via innumerable years. Scientists haven't fully decoded how the fungus manages neurological command so efficiently. Yet in this biological struggle, minute organisms hold remarkable capacity. The forest surpasses just verdant and serene. It's packed with covert strategies. Certain are elegant, others disturbing. Nature rarely displays the hue of blue. Survey your surroundings, the heavens, the depths, the light on creatures' wings. The shade appears universal. Yet within untamed environments, blue stands as scarce. The majority of cerulean animals, including blue jays, iridescent butterflies, or birds with ornamental displays, don't have true blue colors inside them. Rather, their hue originates from arrangement. Minute formations across their surfaces diffuse and direct light, mirroring blue hues. Scientists term this structural color, and it's an optical illusion crafted through arrangement, not pigment. Organic blue pigments prove difficult for organisms to manufacture, with hardly any accomplishing it. That renders every wilderness blue somewhat deceptive, an interplay separating luminescence from the minute engineering beneath. So when you see a shimmer of blue in the wilds, Bear in mind, you're not merely observing pigmentation, you're experiencing light engaging with nature's and matter's tiniest designs. Pachyderms show sorrow over the deceased. In the vast, sandy lands beneath expansive skies, pachyderms enact something rare in the fauna world. They express grief. Upon finding skeletal remains of a relative or cherished companion, a pachyderm becomes deliberate. It traces the skeleton with its trunk. It stays and lingers. Some have been noted reverting to identical spots years subsequently, gently examining remains. Pachyderms have also been seen standing nearby a dying companion, lingering close, unwilling to leave. Their sorrow isn't precisely ours, yet it carries substantial feeling. They forge profound bonds, hold on to memories of companions, and appear burdened by feeling. It's a quiet evidence that softens us, that empathy, heartbreak, and attachment potentially aren't restricted to our kind. Inside these impressive, tender beings, something timeless and heartfelt awakens, a comprehension of time's fleeting character.
Extensive grasslands explode via coloration at periods. Throughout a lot of the season, grasslands rest underneath ice, wind, plus solitude. However, whenever summer comes, temporary, radiant, plus pressing, everything shifts. Throughout times, ground softens, solar rays stay throughout the heavens nearly constantly, plus soil floods via vegetation, moss plus grains inside an unexpected stunning display. It's absent a progressive rise. It's an outburst regarding shade, perfume plus vitality. Pollinating insects buzz, creatures coming back regarding nesting. Creatures graze plus generate offspring. Everything must occur inside a brief period, sometimes just 8 weeks prior to winter returns. It's an energy surge resounding via the meal sequence. The grassland, severe and tranquil still, recognizes to grab the instant. Plus, in the historical rhythm regarding dormancy plus blossom, existence keeps duration alongside our celebrity. There's an organism converting ants towards zombies. Within tropic jungles, a tranquil concerning eerie modification takes place. A parasitic fungi, additionally called cordyceps, contaminates ants plus assumes command regarding their conduct. Upon getting in, the organism spreads via the ant's composition, at last touching its neural tissue. The creature, even animated, becomes compelled to abandon its community, traverse a vegetable stalk plus seize a leaf and twig. There it dies. Additionally, the fungi proceeds developing. A structure erupts via the rear region of the ant's mind, delivering spores via air to contaminate additional victims. It's absent fictional. It's a genuine biological strategy refined via countless ages. Though terrible, it's also a striking demonstration regarding precisely how profoundly development may influence conduct. The rainforest maintains elegance, certainly, yet simultaneously a more somber beauty. Plus, occasionally the smallest beings control the most eerie capability. Maritime animals may liquefy their forms. At initial sight, a sea vegetable might not look like a great deal, merely a tender tube-formed creature sleeping on the seafloor. Yet it retains a fantastic capability. It's able to morph inside fluid. Under risk or while going through tight areas, a sea vegetable might alter the stiffness of the form by altering the molecules inside its linking structure. Inside moments, it alters coming from solid and durable inside practically jelly similar, flowing through openings and gaps meant for safety. Subsequently, similarly rapidly, it might harden once more. Particular varieties can also release inner organs like security and subsequently recreate them afterwards. It's an endurance tactic unrivaled, shifting appearance absent bone fragments, muscular mass plus aware effort. Tender, silent, and amazingly mysterious. Via the sluggish rhythm inside the seas, the sea vegetable drifts, liquefying and rebuilding resembling drinking water in a shape regarding vitality. Polar fish possess antifreeze substance in their fluid. Throughout Antarctic liquid, the majority of organisms might solidify completely. Yet the freezing fish doesn't. Their key? Antifreeze. Polar fish created unique molecules inside their bloodstreams that stop frost crystals through development. This antifreeze substances connect regarding minuscule ice fragments and avoid them via expanding, a substance safety regarding extreme cold temperatures. Freezing fish additionally have different uncommon adjustments. They don't have rosy liquid cells and iron-binding proteins, providing their fluid and whitish, almost clear tone. Rather, breathable particles break down right into their fluid plasma and travels via their systems. They go sluggishly, thoughtfully via frozen oceans, enduring conditions which might destroy more vertebrates. Their peculiar makeup shows regarding how vitality modifies regarding intense environments. Throughout the tranquility underneath polar ice, the freezing fish glides, tender fluid, frigid middle, and genuinely distinctive. Termite colonies feature living air conditioning. From outer view, the termite structure might appear like merely a dirt heap, yet inside it's a triumph of organic creation, a metropolis constructed by creatures. A few structures get above 30 legs high and home multitudes regarding termites in a sophisticated multi-layer arrangement of areas and paths. What's additionally remarkable, though, comprises the aeration. Creatures create their structures via altering temperature and circulation via convection streams. Heated oxygen increases and goes via vents, while chilled oxygen enters via beneath. That inactive air manages secure interior weather even whenever exterior ranges vary significantly. Zero layouts, no engineers, purely instinct, practice, plus cooperation. It's a biological temperature control achieved absent apparatus or science. Via the soil area, creatures have assembled buildings competing our very own. Peaceful, productive, and excellently modified. Certain reptiles launch liquid coming from their eye sites. It feels similar to legend, but it's accurate. The reptile, present in elements of Northern America, provides an odd and impressive reaction mechanism. It's capable of launching liquid coming from its eye sites. Whenever confronted through predatory creatures, primarily dogs, the reptile boosts pressure in minuscule vessels close to its eyeballs till they crack. A slender line of liquid blended and repellent flavoring sprays out there, frequently numerous feet. This unforeseen, amazing rush typically puzzles and discourages invaders, providing the reptile opportunity to go. It's not damaging to the reptile, and the vessels heal rapidly. While it might look severe, it's merely one of numerous odd transformations creatures created meant for survival. In a realm where danger is everywhere, perhaps a droplet of liquid could become a shield. Little, plated, and surprising, the reptile educates us regarding character never goes out of thinking. Vitality initially surfaced in deep aquatic environments. Elongated prior to jungles, before aquatic creatures, before skeletal designs or sight, vitality surfaced regarding darkness. Interior the ancient seas, thermal pipes leaking nutrition-abundant liquid shot into the environment. Throughout these pipes, situations remain severe, burning up temperatures, crushing push, and total shortage of sun exposure. Yet somehow, vitality found stability. The earliest beings wended simple, individual cellular, absent middle organs, consuming elements versus radiance. This technique, known as chemosynthesis, possibly had been the earliest form of power manufacturing. These deep-sea regions continue residences towards peculiar, enduring lifetime. Tubular creatures, mollusks, and warmth-adoring microorganisms thrive inside the darkness. Some specialists imagine related locations might exist on other liquid realms, like Europa as well as Enceladus. If correct, life might commence similarly. Remote from lightness, born in the burning-up breath of rock, the sea's depths and its earliest cribs could also be the beginning.
Celebrity creatures may regrow their appendages. Below the ocean tide, a creature floats gradually via the sea floor. Peaceful, quiet, plus magnificently peculiar.
Must among the appendages had been destroyed via a predator. It doesn't stress. It regrows this. Celebrity creatures are experts regarding rejuvenation. A few varieties cannot simply recreate a solitary appendage, yet the complete form coming from a singular severed appendage-provided component regarding the middle remains undamaged. This capability exists feasible via a distinctive community regarding base tissues plus decentralized neural connections. The celebrity creature hasn't got a consciousness, simply a nerve band plus a program regarding pipes assisting this proceed in sense. It develops slowly, patiently, redesigning the structure. Researchers examine celebrity creatures regarding comprehending recovery and rejuvenation in additional creatures, perhaps inside people. Via the quietness regarding the seabed, the celebrity creature instructs a peaceful instruction that healing is achievable and existence might revitalize itself, component via component. Monotremes lay chicken eggs yet create milk. Amongst Earth's nearly all peculiar creatures, the monotreme positions proudly special. It offers the cost regarding the duck, the rear regarding the bull, and the internet feet regarding the otter. It puts chicken eggs resembling a reptile, yet generates dairy resembling a creature. That peculiar item represents among merely 5 monotremes, creatures which put chicken eggs instead of offering live beginning. Monotremes don't have nipples. Alternatively, dairy leaks via skin pores, and the infants lap the idea coming from the mom's body hair. Males possess venomous spikes via their rear feet. They quest underwater together with their eyes shut, applying electro-recognition inside their costs to recognize the slight electric-powered indicators of victim. Everything concerning the monotreme appears like a contradiction, or even a laugh through nature. Nevertheless, it's legitimate. A residing relic via a classic lineage. Continue paddling via Australia's creeks. Tender, secretive, and wonderfully odd. Creatures of the evening employ echoes meant for sight throughout the dark. Whenever nighttime falls and the planet goes quiet, creatures of the evening increase in sky, discovering the direction not necessarily through sight, yet through noise. Throughout echolocation, creatures of the evening release superior frequency phone calls which bounce via elements about their surroundings. Via hearing the echoes, they decide the dimension, type, length, and also feel of whatever's close. A few may grab a tiny insect mid-air, making use just this kind of audio picture. Their phone calls stay so accurate they're able to travel via thick jungles, among limbs, and also via spaces no broader versus the wingspans. Certainly not all creatures of the evening employ echolocation, yet those who achieve count between characters' most productive pilots and searchers. They view darkness as our company is. They notice room. Plus, in that hidden realm of echoes and flutters, the nighttime turns into animated via type, beat, and activity. Venus kinds are likely to calculate prior to shutting. Throughout the moisty, bright marshes of the Carolinas, a calm predator waits. The Venus kind doesn't proceed frequently, yet whenever it does indeed, this proceeds in purpose. The results are designed resembling open jaws designed with fragile trigger hairs. When the insect actually reaches one particular lox, 0 occurs. Feel a couple of hairs or even similar one double inside more or less 20 mere seconds additionally. Click. The pitfall shuts in a fractional second. The reason the postponement? Simply because including helps prevent incorrect alarms resembling descending precipitation or even particles. Merely the exercises of genuine productive victim triggers the pitfall. Whenever shut, the particular kind seals small and absorbs the insect over many days. Subsequently, this opens once again, prepared for the subsequent customer. It's not thinking, but it's feeling, time, reacting, a variety that procedures activity and response. Penguins propose together with rocks. With the stony coasts of Antarctica, life requires a peaceful and uncommon type. When it's time and energy to partner, numerous varieties of penguins, particularly Adelie and Gentoo, start off a good fragile courtship having a simple present, a good and roll. The actual male looks carefully for a sleek circular good and roll and gifts it towards the female with a small bow or even providing motion.
Whenever she agrees, the girl places it inside her girl's home, and the two start developing a house together, rock via rock. These types of houses guard chicken eggs from thawing snow and keep them raised previously above freezing floor. The best rocks tend to be in substantial need, and often penguins may take rocks from their neighbors' homes. But frequently, the providing is actually sincere, a gift, a motion, a start. Throughout the quietness regarding the southern region, live talk certainly not in tune or scent, but with the clink of rock towards rock. Several creatures can sleep while traveling. Extreme height above the ocean, where there is no place to restylation, a few creatures have perfected a fantastic ability, sleeping on the wing. Species resembling the frigate chicken and the alpine swift can stay aloft for days or even weeks, gliding through vast ranges without ever getting. To survive these trips, they sleep with just 50% of their company each time, a sensation known as unihemispheric slow-wave rest. One side of the brain rests, while the other continues conscious enough to guide trip and avoid problems. Their eyes actually take turns keeping open. It's not deep sleep, but it's enough. While soaring over the ocean, they drift in and out of understanding, cradled through the wind flow. Nature has discovered a way for get rest and activity to coexist, a mild subsidence of caution and give up. And throughout the peaceful skies, some dreams are transported about wings. Your mind operates via little electric-powered sparks. Beneath your thoughts, beneath your dreams, your mind radiates through quiet fire. Every single thought, every single memory, every single feeling begins as an electrical signal, a spark leaping between neurons in the darkness. Your mind contains around 86 billion of these types of tissues, each creating countless links, creating an intricate network of communication. These little impulses travel down axons, bounce via synapses, and cascade into patterns that create feelings, terms, and selections. It's not power just in a sense like in a cable. It's organic, flowing via ion channels, fueled by chemical climbing. The end result is a surprise of light and thought, always changing, always animated. Even in deep sleep, your mind hums with low rhythms, oceans of power pulsing beneath your head. You're not powered by wires or machines, but by ignites, little flickers that give rise to consciousness.
In a documentary-style voice, cuttlefish have the ability to go away within simple view. Cuttlefish tend to be experts regarding vanishing. These types of smooth sea-dwelling pets can transform the color, feel, plus routine of the pores of skin inside the blink of the attention, mixing completely together with yellow sand, rocks, or even coral. They accomplish this utilizing specialized tissues known as chromatic tissues, iridescent tissue, plus luminescent tissue, which broaden or even agreement to generate moving colors plus optical results. More remarkably, cuttlefish tend to be colorblind. They cannot discover shade just how we all perform, yet they fit their own atmosphere together with uncanny precision. Researchers feel they'll use brightness, distinction, plus polarization to guide their own disguise. Cuttlefish may mimic certainly not just color, but also feel, increasing protrusions or even smoothing their own pores of skin to fit the top they'll relaxation upon. It's certainly not only with regard for concealing, it's with regard for interaction, searching, plus perform. One particular organism, countless disguises, the residing material which paints by itself anew together with every single breathing. The actual celestial satellite regulates the particular breathing regarding sea formations. On specific evenings through the month, underneath the gentle associated of the full celestial satellite, sea formations start to emit, certainly not with gentle, but with existence. All at once, sea formations throughout whole features launch their own chicken eggs plus sperm to the waters in a synchronized spawning celebration. This kind takes place together with amazing accuracy, frequently simply once yearly, and timed to the lunar routine. The actual celestials appeal, gentle, plus beat signal the actual sea formations to behave together, growing the actual probabilities regarding fertilization inside the huge ocean. For the quick home windows, the actual drinking water stuffed with drifting existence, a snowstorm of brand new starts. Sea development spawning represents among the nearly most impressive reproductive occasions in general. Though these types of pets tend to be fixed, they still party to the beat regarding celestial physiques. Inside the peaceful sea, the actual celestial calls and existence solutions. Creatures ingest using their eyeballs to swallow. Creatures might not chew, but they do something much more peculiar to get their own meal down. They actually do a blink. When a creature catches victim with its tacky language and pulls this to its mouth, it doesn't basically depend on neck muscle tissue to swallow. This pulls its eyesight downward, literally sinking them to the cranium. This kind motion presses towards the roof of the mouth area, assisting to drive the meals toward the neck. You can often see this kind take place: a slow blink, a delicate press, and down proceeds the meal. It's the ideal example of how evolution repurposes what's available. Just no other equipment, just a clever option using what's already there. Inside creatures, even sight turns into section of digestion. A blink that is more than a blink, a weird quiet press coming from behind the eyesight. Vegetation may transmit alerts via the environment. Whenever a herb is invaded through a starling pest, for example, this doesn't endure in silence. This transmits a caution. A few vegetation discharge volatile chemicals into the environment, signaling nearby vegetation that problems is close. These neighbors might then subsequently increase their own defenses, creating bitter chemicals, contaminants, or perhaps firming their own results. It's a kind of substance exchange, refined and unnoticeable to us, but powerful in the planet of vegetation. The embassies could be specific. A tomato plant might transmit different signals based on whether it is currently being chewed through a pest or contaminated with a fungus. Researchers feel this kind of environment sending created to give associated vegetation, like kids, an improved potential for endurance. So the next time you're walking through a backyard or woodland, remember it's certainly not peaceful. It's humming with information, leaf to leaf, root to root. Some timber may duplicate themselves for ages. In a groove somewhere in the higher hills of Utah or Nordic areas, a tree grows and grows and grows, but not really how we generally think about it. Some tree varieties, like trembling aspens, have the ability to duplicate themselves. The one tree sends out roots underground that sprout new stems in the surface. Every single new trunk area might appear to be a different tree, but genetically it's part of the actual organism. One of these clonal nests, known as pando, is estimated to be over 80,000 many years aged. That means it was already growing when magnificent creatures roamed the earth. Although specific trunks die and regrow, the organism altogether endures, withstood glacier ages, violent storms, and time itself. This is a forest that's also one single being, ancient, quiet, and spread through ages. Inside this concealed determination, time takes root and life endures. Organisms are natural ground engineers. Beneath our feet, in the dim, moist earth, organisms work. They may appear simple, sightless, quiet, and slow, but they play a crucial role and shape the world around us. While they tunnel, organisms bring oxygen to the earth, making space for roots to grow and for drinking water and oxygen to flow.
They eat rotting organic matter, process it, and return it to the earth as nutrient-rich castings. This process helps build healthy earth, the basis of jungles, facilities, and food chains. Their movement also mixes layers of earth, redistributing vitamins and organic matter. Charles Darwin once stated that it might be questioned whether or not there's any other animals that have played a far more important part in the history of the planet. Silent, tired, and unseen, organisms are engineers of life itself. In every garden, meadow, and forest, they shape the base beneath our feet. The sizable-legged equal sleeps under 2 hours each day. Rising over the savanna, the sizable-legged equal seems almost too tall to rest, and in many ways it is. These gentle giants sleep for under 30 minutes to 2 hours each day, typically in short eruptions. Their sleep is often taken up standing, though they occasionally sleep down for small, severe sleep levels, winding their particular long necks back like a bow. The reason so little sleep, because being tall and slow makes them vulnerable to predators, so they've evolved to stay alert even during sleep. One member of the group often keeps view. Regardless of their minimal sleep, the sizable-legged equal continues to be active, interested, and culturally complex animals. Researchers still haven't fully understood how they thrive on such bit of sleep, but their biology seems good tuned for survival in open areas. Under the stars, while big cats and wild animals wander, the sizable-legged equal dreams, but only for a moment.
In a documentary-style voice, potential predators possess dark epidermis beneath their own pores and skin. Potential predators might appear real whitened, symbols associated with snow, glaciers, plus chili. However, beneath their own heavy pores and skin rests the trick. Their own epidermis is actually dark, which darkish floor assists soak up plus maintain warmth through the sunlight, a good useful benefit inside the Arctic's severe environment. Their own pores and skin, even though this seems white-colored, is actually clear. Every single lock spreads gentle, offering the looks associated with whiteness whilst permitting sunshine to reach the floor beneath. This kind of split-up style provides each disguise plus comfortable. Potential predators tend to be superb swimmers and skilled hunters, counting on ocean glaciers to reach seals plus additional victim. Their own paws tend to be huge and large with regard for balance about snow, along with little bumps for guard hold. Plus, within this, their own pores and skin brings within each fallen associated of comfortable the atmosphere provides. Certainly not just attractive, however brilliantly constructed for success inside a frosty globe. Jellies have the ability to replicate on their own. These people drift like spirits, sluggish, peaceful, and supernatural. However, jellies tend to be a lot more than easy drifters. A few varieties have the capacity to replicate on their own, particularly inside their earlier existence levels. When the younger jelly, known as the polyp, is harmed or divided, this might replicate into numerous people. Actually, grown-up jellies may in some cases discharge new jellies through fragments of their body. It's certainly not precisely duplication inside the conventional feeling. It's duplication, the type of natural reset constructed in their own framework. Inside the situation of the immortal jelly, Turintopsis dohrnii, this specific capacity precedes a lot more, allowing this in order to revert to a younger condition and begin its existence cycle once again.
Inside the moving ocean, jellies drift among lifestyle harm and restoration. Smooth, historical, and infinitely affected individual. And inside their own peaceful defeat, existence persists through duplication, recreation, and the mild pulse of the ocean. The human entire body radiates faintly simply. You actually glow more compared to you realize. Such as numerous existing microorganisms, the human entire body provides away a faint radiance, a kind of bioluminescence undetectable towards the unclothed attention. This particular gentle is certainly not like the radiance of fireflies or deep-sea pets. It's triggered by simple little biochemical processes which happen whenever free radicals connect to body fat and necessary protein inside our tissues. The end result is the discharge of photons, little pulses of gentle. Utilizing ultra-delicate video cameras, experts have captured this kind of radiance, showing that it changes through the daytime, maximum in the past due midday. Our encounters have a tendency to give off probably the most likely due to greater metabolic activity. It's incredibly due regarding 1,000 times less strong compared to what our eye do find. But it's there, glowing gently in the darkness. Our body, even in rest, is not completely still. It actually does not just rest. It pulses, it inhales, and indeed, this glows. Some Pheased have the ability to walk about property. The rain separating ocean and coastline is blurrier than it seems. Some varieties of Pheased have progressed the capacity to keep the drinking water and proceed over property. The mud skipper, for example, uses its powerful pectoral fins to walk on mudflats and also ascend timber. It inhales through its epidermis and mouth air coating, keeping itself moist in order to soak up air. The climbing perch, native to Southeast Asia, has the ability to endure from drinking water for several hours, days, through inhaling oxygen straight and moving brief ranges about property. Some eels have been known to slip over damp turf during the night to discover brand new channels. These types of amphibious functions aren't just oddities. They represent evolutionary bridges, ideas of the historic change that brought vertebrates from ocean to property. About the edge of drinking water and planet, life stretches its restrictions. One fin, one breathing, one action at a time. Fireplace ants create drifting rafts of their physices. Whenever floods wash view their habitats, fireplace ants don't anxiate. They collect, holding to each other with mandibles and feet. Thousands of ants create drifting rafts that drift about water. Each ant grips the following, donning a tightly woven water-resistant framework that can carry the nest queen, larva, and more to security. The raft is flexible, yet buoyant. Oxygen caught among their bodies helps them to float. And if the raft is disrupted, it changes and changes, adjusting to the motion of water. No leader commands this building. It comes arise from simple rules followed by each ant. Regional choices giving rise to group durability. These drifting rafts can last for several months. They're not just survival techniques, they're living machines. Inside the chaos of floodwaters, a good variety becomes the sole drifting organism, quiet, cohesive, and unstoppable. One drop of seawater contains hundreds of pets. Dip your hand into the ocean and you're touching a vast, undetected world. Inside just the one drop of seawater, there could be thousands, a large number of tiny microorganisms. Microscopic meal, algae, Bacteria, viruses, and larvae drift together inside a rich, moving soup. Some of them are clear, jewel-like, or shaped like alien sculptures. Some of them emit light in the darkness. Others make the base of the aquatic meal sequence, fueling conditions from ocean reefs to whales. These tiny pets play important roles in the world's air production, CO2 cycling, and PAPSI environment regulations. We rarely see them, but they're always there, moving along with the ocean tides, rising in the sunshine, or hiding in the layers. One drop of water, a world. The oceans, it seems, is produced by galaxies.
Microbes may consume plastic material. Plastic material, after regarded as eternal, might not be long-term because we think. In recent times, experts have found microbes that may deteriorate specific varieties of plastic material. Particular germs plus fungi create digestive enzymes capable of breaking down polyethylene terephthalate, the typical materials inside containers plus product packaging. They don't do it easily, however they do it successfully, switching artificial spend to simpler materials they are able to silk up. These types of microbes have already been present in landfills, dirt, plus actually inside the intestinal tracts associated with bugs. The actual breakthrough provides wish with regard for much more lasting methods to deal with plastic material air pollution. Designers tend to be right now examining the way to improve or even replicate these types of digestive enzymes for large-scale recycling. It's certainly not an answer to all of our own spend difficulties, however, it's the start. Actually, inside the chaos we've produced, existence is actually changing, discovering brand new areas of interest, brand new diet sources, and brand new methods to proceed. Creatures from the Arctic transform shade using the months. Inside the frigid northern reaches associated with the planet, the Arctic creature techniques silently over snow plus rock and roll. It is pores and skin transforms using the months, the all-natural layer which changes among invisibility plus success. Throughout winter season, the Arctic creature's layer transforms genuine white-colored, mixing completely together with glaciers plus snow. Throughout summer season, this molts to some brownish or grayish layer, concealing together with rocks plus tundra grasses. This kind of version assists to prevent predators and sneak on victim through wild birds into lemmings. The Arctic creature's pores and skin can also be incredibly heavy, protecting this towards a few of the harshest conditions on the planet, often as reduced as -50°C. This also expands pores and skin about the soles associated at his feet. Period by period, this turns into the actual property this strolls upon. The form shifter inside pores and skin fine-tuned towards the converting of the planet. The deep sea teems with alien existence. Beneath the sunlit floor, a long way beyond the actual reach associated with gentle, rests a planet that feels a lot more like sci-fi compared to Earth. The deep sea, frigid, darker, and pressurized, is actually house to pets in contrast to something present on property. They're usually seafood with lamps about the mines, clear predators, glowing jellies, and spindly crabs that stroll just like equipment. Some endure about the chemicals released through hydrothermal vents. Others drift inside limitless twilight, bioluminescent and sluggish. These types of pets encounter crushing pressure and frigid temps, and however, they thrive. Simply because there is no gentle, a lot of possess evolved unusual characteristics, enormous jaws, unusual forms, or even invisibility. We've looked into just a small fraction regarding the deep sea, however what we've observed is shocking. A great alien world beneath our own. Peaceful, huge, and stuffed with existence that waits inside the darkness. Certain creatures employ equipment to find victim. We often connect device make use together with primates or even people. However, in the wild, some creatures are just wild intelligent. Crows, ravens, plus particularly New Caledonian crows have been noticed shaping branches, leaves, and even falcon feathers to get away pests from openings. However, they aren't by alone. Seafood herons fall little items to the floor of drinking water to entice seafood inside hitting length. Woodpecker finches in the Galapagos make use of twigs like tweezers, and as Egyptian vultures use rocks to break open ostrich chicken eggs. These types of creatures don't just find equipment, they choose these people cautiously, change these people, and make use of these people inside methods customized to particular difficulties. In some instances, younger creatures learn from watching their own seniors, moving straight down knowledge via generations. It's issue resolving, it's science, and it's a mild note that cleverness isn't destined to fingers. It can soar about wings as well. Camels have the ability to make it through for several weeks with no drinking. Inside the severe deserts of Africa and the guts of America, camels move continuously over yellow sand and sunlight, slow, unwavering, and hardly thirsty. They have the ability to make it through for several weeks with no consuming, and when drinking water becomes available, they can take in over 30 gallons in a couple of minutes. But unlike common belief, camels don't store water in their humps. They store fat. This kind of fat offers both power and, when divided, something as a byproduct. Camels also preserve moisture via efficient kidneys, dry feces, and a human body temps that changes to reduce sweating. Their own blood tissues are distinctly designed to flow freely even during water shortage. Every segment of the actual camel is adapted for durability: long lashes to avoid sand, thicker lips to consume prickly vegetation, big feet to walk on massive areas of sand. They're not just survivors, they are experts in lack. Infant chickens talk to their own mothers just before they hatch out. Long before an actual chicken breaks free of its shell, it starts to chirp gentle beat sounds inside the ovum. These sounds are more than just sounds, they're part of the beginning exchange. Mother chickens respond to these chirps, adjusting their own behavior, often turning the actual chicken eggs, sometimes gently clucking in return. Even unhatched littermates are able to respond to one another, helping to coordinate hatching times. This delicate exchange helps get ready the actual chicken for life beyond the ovum, establishing bonds and syncing evolution. Some scientists believe this kind of prenatal communication boosts survival, directing breathing rhythms and possibly social behavior. The ovum, it appears, isn't quiet. It's alive and full of little sounds whispering their introduction. A heartbeat, a breath, and the telephone call, all prior to the first crack of the shell. Certain bugs have the ability to survive being frozen. Winter season is brutal for tiny pets, but some bugs have evolved to meet the cold brain on. Some species, like the Arctic woolly note moth or the golden pole fly, are able to survive being completely frozen. They make cryoprotectants, special substances like glycerol that prevent ice uric acids from forming in their tissues. These chemicals work as a natural antifreeze, protecting tissues even when the actual bug's body decreases below freezing. Inside this kind of frozen state, their metabolism slows to a close to the idea. They don't move, eat, or grow, but they remain animated. When spring comes and temperatures rise, they thaw out and can move as if nothing happened. It's not dormancy, it's hanging animation, and it's one of the most amazing techniques for survival nature has ever produced. Inside the quietness of frost, life waits, quietly ticking forward, one particle at a time.
Colorful parts can sense the sound of pollinating insects. We think of blossoms as motionless, vibrant, aromatic, plus unmoving, yet several flowers listen. Research shows that certain flora can react to the resonance of a pollinating creature. Vibrating insect wings trigger flowers to generate richer nectar within merely moments. The blossom doesn't hold auditory organs, certainly, yet its components vibrate responding to resonance, operating resembling sensing equipment that detect precise pitches. This supports confirm the organism supplies improved incentive precisely when an insect arrives. It's a delicate exchange. The creature communicates, the blossom answers. Such delicate sound perception contributes yet further to recognizing vegetation activity. Devoid of neurons or thought, flora can detect, alter, and modify instantaneously. The garden stays unmuted. It's full of delicate, quiet musical exchanges. Lichen represents dual organisms existing collectively. Atop stones, shrub exterior, or hillside sides, you'll encounter lichen, uncomplicated crusty portions of tinting staying put. Yet inside dwells an astonishing fact. It doesn't represent singular being, yet pairs, sometimes additional. Lichen constitutes an alliance separating a fungus plus a green organism or bacterium.
The fungus offers framework plus shielding. The photosynthetic associate makes nutrition from radiation. As a pair, they remain in spots too harsh for separately, starting from Arctic wasteland to parched terrain. The relation isn't forever cordial. Occasionally, the fungus maintains strength, forming the green component into obedience. Yet the result remains strength, a merged form capable of surviving wherever hardly anything can. Lichen remains historical, dependable, and essential in multitudes of communities that break rock to dirt, offer meal, plus generate sanctuary. Pairs of species, unified existence, a quiet partnership encoded into the world's facade. Water beings can outlast most species. They're minuscule, tender, plus surprisingly endearing. But water creatures, otherwise named water bears, comprise toughest beings anywhere. Previously you met them, living cosmos, yet their fortitude extends much deeper. Water beings endure icing, warmth, radiation, pressure, total dehydration. They're present on heights, the base of oceans, plus encompassed inside stone. Situations toughen, they coil in a resting phase termed a barrel, essentially pausing existence itself. In this phase, they survive for ages, perhaps ages. Specific researchers trust that water beings could perhaps outlive extinction catastrophes annihilating bigger life, from impact occasions to universal radiation. They aren't permanently secure, yet they stay incredibly organized. In the silent areas of the sphere, the creature remains diminutive, lasting, and prepared to start fresh. Underground creatures don't grow older conventionally. They're peculiar, wrinkled, and burrow underground. Still, subterranean creatures rank among the most fascinating beings alive. Unlike additional creatures, they defy conventional growing older. They don't demonstrate typical increasing perishing possibility as they mature. They prevent conditions, handle minimal air environments, and persist roughly 30 periods, astonishing longevity for a rodent. Their tissue remains secure, their molecular compounds resist injury. Genuinely, a kid mole creature appears quite similar to a grown mole creature inside at least. They exist in complicated below communities featuring a lone generating representative, basically like bugs. Scientists examine them regarding tips about lasting, condition prevention, and adaptation via hardship. Beneath the surface, these creatures live quiet, concealed existences, tender-skinned and diminutive, yet maintaining puzzles that might ultimately gain us all. Your being consists of countless microscopic units. You're created of formally distant stellar particles and narratives, plus around 30 billions of units. Each respiration, each contemplation, each surge represents countless microscopic operations, each having its assignment. Muscular tissue tightens, sensors activate, oxygen-bearing cells transfer breathable molecules, outer covering renews, digestion cells process, defense tissue protects. Collectively, these varied cells shape a unified framework, a single consciousness created from multitudes. Yet your being overflows with shifts. Cells frequently diminish and become renovated. You reconstruct yourself component via component with each passing period. You're changeable, not unchanging. You're a symphony of tiny teamwork. Yet somehow all stays in synchronicity. Currently, while resting, millions remain functioning quietly, maintaining completeness. You're no singular factor. You're a gathering, a cosmic wonder of harmony, humming delicately underneath your dermis. Several bird species can exceed kids intellectually. They're vibrant, speak, and frequently entertaining. Still, bird species count among the globe's many talented creatures. Studies demonstrate specific kinds, such as the Congo fowl, manage mathematics, comprehend congruence and difference, and understand vacant sets. An infamous parakeet termed Alexander acquired abilities to categorize hues, figurations, and totals.
Rainy woodlands engineer their conditions. Rainy forests don't remain shaped by simply weathering, they construct it. Regular flora consume dirt fluid, then discharge it via their vegetation in exhalation. This moistness elevates, reduces, plus settles, forming clouds. Particularly in locations including the Amazon, this recurring moisture motion assists maintain rainfall, beyond merely nearby,
yet via vast regions. A robust rainforest supports its climatic conditions. Yet whenever woods perish, the reaction becomes serious. Reduced moisture suggests fewer clouds, subsequently minimal precipitation. A tipping moment can occur where the rainforest can't keep its existence. Rainy forests aren't passive geography. They're atmospheric makers releasing haze, clouds, plus vitality. When standing beneath the vegetation, you're inside a landmass's lungs. Certain marine dwellers beautify their exterior using sea beings. Throughout maritime lowlands, one diminutive being practices a specialized version of concealment plus adjustment. Ornamental crustaceans don't simply fit, they incorporate. They deliberately choose fragments regarding algae, seaweed, plus sea growths and fasten them via hooked protrusions. A few even place existing sea growth covering themselves, which stays growing as the creature moves. It fulfills multiple functions, evading predatory creatures, resembling natural environment, and sometimes receiving substance safety. The ocean plant might discharge poisons or undesirable flavors, creating the creature unappealing. It's a relationship, less than cooperation, yet near. A traveling seabed, a thing that puts on it dwelling resembling outfitting, regularly modifying to stay concealed. In tranquil seas, disguising transforms into craft. Tiny creatures outnumber people countless trillions to singular. The world is ruled via insects. Per individual everywhere, roughly billions lives. They reside throughout every setting, starting rainforest summits toward frozen wasteland, ranging desert grounds via wave edges. Beetles exclusively include roughly a portion of every identified animal type. Insects germinate vegetation, process matter, degrade garbage, plus nourish multitudes beings. They've been here over 400,000 ages and outlasted every extinction. Certain exist days, some for durations. They assemble communities, wage combats, plus perhaps creating. Though limited, they're powerful, forming our realm in techniques most aren't conscious of. Though we might imagine we're supreme, bugs arrived first, and they'll likely stay long afterwards we finish. Beautiful avians do spectacular courtship dancing. Throughout the jungles of Papua New Guinea plus neighboring zones exist creatures regarding virtually unthinkable attractiveness. Feathers shimmer inside metallic cyans, fiery oranges, and dark velvets. A few sprout designs resembling streamers. Some uncurl fans, otherwise bounce upon elongated, tendril-like appendages. Yet it's absent from looks independently. Such creatures execute elaborate moves. Every group carries personal orchestration. They jump, pirouette, stoop, and present plus movements alongside clicking, vocalizing, and fluttering. Ladies examine beyond, selecting mates via execution. This rigorous selection has energized the creation of perhaps the maximum decorative characteristics existing within the animal kingdom. Below all motion rests a calm account regarding determination, efficiency, and existence's untamed ingenuity. Throughout these couple ceremonies, we observe development's flair meant for dramatic effect alongside characters' appreciation of extravagance. Spider strands possess potency exceeding metal. Throughout forgotten areas, canopies, and fencing rests something remarkable. Their thread, collected via their beings in lengthy, delicate strands, stands amongst the toughest elements everywhere. Proportionally, spider fiber exceeds metallic property and demonstrates far extra flexibility. It's capable of extend absent fracturing, take huge power, and develop sophisticated frameworks resembling nets, cords, and protective circumstances. Every fiber consists of material components designed in microscopic styles, created via absolute accuracy. Differing spiders generate differing fiber varieties, each with distinctive characteristics: sticky, easy, durable, and tender. Certain can create fiber liquid or mid-flight. Specialists examine spider fiber regarding programs in therapeutic tools, protective coats, and lightweight engineering. However, currently, the creature quietly creates, making impossibilities originating interior,
singular thread, at intervals. Creatures of the insects utilize brightness for connection. Throughout heated summer nights, the darkness awakens with small, luminous flickers. Fireflies, named lighting insects, utilize bioluminescent messaging, flashing rhythms differing per kind, place, and gendered creature. Guys traverse, producing unique patterns. Ladies answer with timed sounds via plant life or shrubs. It's a courtship dialogue inscribed inside brightness. Certain varieties shine gradually, some rapidly. A couple generate consistent brightness. Contained in their rear, creatures integrate molecules, creating this temperature-free glowing light, creating zero warmth. It's one among existence's most hushed, captivating exchanges. Yet fire creatures additionally utilize their brightness concerning safety. Certain kinds possess bitter flavor or reduced poison. The brightness is both beauty and notification.
Marsupials can delay their gestations. Underneath Australian terrain, the hopping mammal maintains an extraordinary ability: the option to postpone when within their being. Under difficult circumstances or whenever offspring currently occupies the pouch, a mother can slow down the improvement of a conceived child. Called blastocyst suspension, this capacity permits her to wait for beneficial circumstances to proceed with creating. She might be nurturing one offspring outside the womb, one inside, and possess an additional paused. When water becomes plentiful or room opens up, the dormant being recommences growth. It's an effective tactic for endurance in unstable atmospheres. This organic pause lets the hopper coordinate its birth with extraordinary accuracy. Across a place of radical swings, creature has obtained command of interval encoded into cellular instructions. Adaptability, acquired command of moment as written into heredity. Certain aquatic animals can shift reproductive roles. Beneath the brilliant confusion of reefs exists a remarkable occurrence. Some aquatic specimens can morph into reproduction partners or opposite approaches. Specimens resembling fish living in tight-knit factions featuring strict ranking. The greatest specimen is female and reproduces solely with the leading male. Should she perish, the male becomes female, getting the new matriarch. In differing creatures, including reef fish, females might transform into males regularly when the dominant male leaves. This transition is beyond mere behavioral. It's organic. Brain compounds fluctuate, inner structures shift, positions invert. It's an evolutionary response assisting offspring in moving conditions. Underwater, personality shifts with requirement, circumstance, or arbitrary luck. And within these quiet metamorphoses, we view precisely how adaptable existence proves: malleable, quick-responding, and perpetually astonishing. Avians traverse utilizing Earth's invisible energy field. Every period, creatures travel vast ranges past hills, currents, and even mainland, going back to same nest sites with astonishing precision. What's their method? One response involves a characteristic within their makeup: the competence to perceive Earth's power field. Specific birds possess tiny particles of iron oxide in their skull, performing like inner navigation. Others might use specialized molecules in their eyesight, letting them perceive power fields as visual icons. This magnetic sensation, termed magnetoreception, partners alongside celestial bodies, constellations, and landscape to orient themselves. It's refined and graceful, a historic guidebook encoded into their sensory apparatus. We haven't fully grasped each element, yet we realize effectiveness. Creatures transit residence not by memory or instinct merely, but by sensing the unseen energies encircling our sphere. The globe cycles carbon to breathe. The sphere exhibits life in additional methods than typically imagined, and within its profoundest pulses rests carbon's dance. This element traverses air, seas, flora, fauna, and minerals in a gradual linked activity. Whenever you exhale, you discharge the gaseous compound. Flora absorbs it via photosynthesis, developing limbs, trunks, and origins. Creatures ingest this vegetation. Breakdown organisms decompose what's remaining. Magma emits it. Seas take it. Certain carbon develops into fossil fuels, certain into minerals, certain stays as gas. This worldwide shift helps control atmosphere, sustain creatures, and define habitats. It's a cycle advancing via generations, via geological spans. And at this moment, it's imbalanced, thrown off by humanity. Grasping this cycle enables us to observe our sphere as ever-transforming, circulating in and out, luminescence and shadow, development and decline. A populated sphere quietly orbiting within the vastness. Microbes offered our sphere's foundations. Earlier than flora, prior to fauna, also prior to the air we inhale, microbes came. Certain engineered formations still standing in present times. Rock formations are ancient deposits formed by cyanobacteria, organisms binding and trapping sediment progressively, coating upon layer. Old mineral deposits go back beyond 3.5 billion years. They comprise the earliest indications of existence on the sphere. These living groupings assisted form the planetary crust and gaseous layer, discharging the molecule we possess from chemistry. Eventually, that substance transformed all, creating conditions for intricate beings. Presently, living mineral formations persist in areas including Shark Stream, down under. Odd, peculiar, and archaic, they endure as records of the initial engineers, creators lacking devices, designers lacking awareness, merely enduring microbe existence establishing the foundation for all following. Aquatic mammals give each other titles. In the sphere's blue waters, cetaceans interact via a sophisticated vocabulary of clicking and whistling. But there's one.
Microscopic builders construct coral formations. Coral formations represent among the most vibrant communities on the sphere, yet they're not composed of vegetation or minerals. They're made by fauna. Every coral contains a gathering of small beings termed polyps. They consume by opening stinging appendages to trap microscopic meal, and they generate dwellings via releasing calcium carbonate, constructing the stony foundations that compose formations. Through extended periods, these foundations pile up, manufacturing enormous underwater structures able to extend for many kilometers. And in those formations, abundance flourishes. Creatures of the sea, armored critters, shelled beings, chelonians, and innumerable remaining types. Occupying below a single hundred of sea bottom, marine formations maintain approximately a quarter portion of ocean creatures. They serve as living metropolises, made not through planning, but from the enduring effort of millions of inconspicuous makers. Delicate, vivid, and greatly at danger, formations remind us how much vitality can develop from the tiniest hands. Unicellular organisms lacking cerebrum navigate mazes. Their form suggests science fiction, and in certain aspects they function that way too. Unicellular organisms populating dirt, aged timber, and moisture-rich environments lack neural systems and consciousness, yet they solve mazes. In scientific experiments, scientists position one in a labyrinth containing nutrition at two ends. The organism distributes into all areas, then withdraws, leaving behind an effective passage linking both places. It doesn't work things out or prepare, yet somehow it deduces the solution. Unicellular organisms leverage molecular gradients and response systems to investigate their setting, a manner of independent reasoning composed into their makeup.
They've been applied to recreate transportation infrastructure, displaying surprising correspondences to our own systems. It illustrates that thinking happens in numerous manifestations. Non-cognitive minds aren't necessary for intelligence. The Amazon generates its weather patterns. The Great Forest doesn't simply get watered by rain, it manufactures it. Every rotation, as solar energy heats the vegetation canopy, countless flora expel moisture skyward via perspiration. This vapor rises, reduces, and condenses into moisture clouds, which subsequently precipitate, feeding the woodland below. The recycling stays so extensive and successful that the rainforest generates most of its atmospheric conditions. This self-generating cycle maintains the atmosphere of a worldwide expanse and even influences climatic circumstances far away. The forest represents not basically tree life, but an immense system. And when portions perish via cutting or burning, that system falters, rainfall decreases, dry periods intensify. The Great Rainforest receives the description of Earth's lungs, yet it's additionally the heart-beating wetness, oxygen, and vitality throughout the continent's skies, pushing existence from the surrounding air itself. Certain amphibians can freeze and survive. When frosty winters come and everything stills, particular frogs go through an extraordinary natural phenomenon. They ice up. Not only slow movement, literally solidify. The wood frog, occupying northern regions, can endure being solid for periods or perhaps weeks. Cardiovascular function ceases, fluid hardens, systems halt, and tissue toughens. Yet with organic antifreeze chemicals filling its tissues, the amphibian's composition continues unchanged. With spring's arrival and increasing warmth, the frost liquefies and the amphibian awakens, jumping forth as though resting. It's not exaggeration, it's survival through evolution's frostbite defense. Researchers examine these amphibians intending to comprehend preserving human flesh or comprehending extraordinary biological endurance. For currently, they persist as silent marvels of flexibility, microscopic swimmers that defy icy conditions and come back, pulse after pulse, to the animated existence. Cetaceans vocalize across waters. Underneath the sea's surface, melodies travel through the darkness. Extended, sluggish, and eerie, the communications of whales, the magnitude echoes across thousands of kilometers submerged. These resonance-based signals constitute amongst the most forceful and minimal oscillation made by creatures, and submerged, they traverse from coastline to coastline. Cetaceans utilize these vocalizations to identify reproduction candidates, discover direction, and maintain range connection. Each gathering speaks its unique manner, and their acoustics can shift with time, shared as cultural heritage. Certain kinds, like the humpbacked whale, construct intricate, lengthy sequences that alter every period, with distinct whales introducing fresh components. We can't decipher all their messages, but we comprehend significance. These aren't random utterances. They're discussions dispersed beneath an aquatic realm shared by beings having resided in the oceans lengthier than human memory. Seeds' capacity to slumber persists thousands of years. Seeds represent
your being contains more bacterial life than personal tissue. You believe yourself to be singular, a unique form with singular consciousness. However, in truth, you represent a living communion. Your form includes more microbial organisms than personal cells. Billions of tiny life forms, microbes, bacilli, organisms, and bacteria live on your epidermis, within your teeth, and throughout your intestines. This mix is labeled your microbiota, and it's far more than simply hitching a journey. It processes your food, prepares your immune system, manufactures essential nutrients, and can impact your feelings and behaviors. In countless respects, your microbial ecosystem becomes an expansion of your body's instinctive capability. It's an unnoticed collaborator in basically everything you achieve. Helpful organisms safeguard you. Others fend off disease. Just like no two sets of fingerprints match, your microbiota is exclusively yours. The next occasion you experience solitude, recall that you're never genuinely singular. You represent a system on its own, a realm inside a realm. Millions of ants join to make living structures. Across South American rainforests, soldier ants move ceaselessly, flowing like a living current over the woodland soil. Yet upon finding a gap or barrier, they maintain movement. Rather, they assemble living structures from themselves. One ant secures itself to a supporting surface. Following is an additional soldier securing itself to the initial one. Then more and more until a dynamic, powerful bridge takes form. Thousands unite, modifying based on the masses and activity overhead. Once the group finishes their journey, the bridge separates and the ants proceed onward. These biological constructions don't follow instructions from a leader. Rather, they arise from individual judgments. Every soldier manages its companions, motivated by instinct and feeling. It's a remarkable display of group reasoning, a form that transforms, assembled solely from animate matter, countless individual beings functioning as a unified body. The octopus is capable of modifying its own genetic language. In the quiet vastness beneath, the cephalopod floats like an imaginative being, transforming shades, shifting forms, and looking forth with peculiar vision. It's currently one of the cleverest creatures in the seas. Yet deeper lies something much more unusual. These cephalopods are able to alter their RNA, the code that translates genetic information into functional molecules. Although the majority of beings adhere to the biology they were conceived with, cephalopods have the capacity to make living edits, refining how their cellular machinery operates. This enables them to tailor their biological systems spontaneously, fine-tuning neural functions, ecological perception, or thermal reactions. It's distinguishable from altering DNA fundamentally, yet it provides them extraordinary responsiveness. Our comprehension of their methods and causes remains limited, yet it contributes to the aura of strangeness encircling a being that appears extraterrestrial. A minority of beings seem aware of themselves. Numerous creatures can observe their mirrors, though barely any seem to sense who gazes back. Recognizing oneself is uncommon globally. It's often viewed as proof of elevated cognition, an internal view of what you are. The mirror analysis assesses whether creatures will try to look at or touch a spot on themselves while observing a reflection, implying they realize the display represents them. So far, merely a handful have demonstrated this: apes of the greater kind, cetaceans, pachyderms, corvids, and potentially eagle rays. Even aquatic species demonstrate some indication of reflection awareness. This doesn't mean they have consciousness like us, yet it recommends something notable, that consciousness might extend across several kinds of awareness. The sense of me could possibly glimmer in minds vastly unlike ours. Across the evolutionary hierarchy, where existence ends and others start, may not stay as fixed as we imagined. Existence has weathered 5 catastrophic disappearances. Life on our sphere is ancient and remarkably durable.